Hello, my name is Julio Encinas from the Reuse Company. In this video, I'm going to show you how the terminology coverage completeness metrics works. The objective of the terminology coverage metric is to provide some mechanism to check that the requirements in the specification are aligned with a predefined controlled vocabulary. The result of the metric will show if there are requirements in the specification that don't contain any of the selected terms and the terms that selected that aren't found in any requirement in the specification. The result of the metric will provide a quantitative value for this calculation. At the end, if the specification is not fully covering the selected terms, a medium or low quality level will be computed and an error could be generated. A value near to zero indicates less absence of the selected terms in the metric, so more coverage and furthermore better quality. In order to use this metric, at least a term list should be selected. First of all, let's take a review about ontologies. For this metric, we'll stay in the lower layers of the ontology, terminology, and thesaurus for selecting the terms. The ontology is managed using Knowledge Manager. The first two sections, terminology and conceptual model, will provide means to build up the terms and structure that will be used by the metric. There are several ways to do the term selection for the terminology coverage metric, but only one of them should be used. First of all, there is the system conceptual model hierarchies that guide the term selection by showing terms arranged by one given relationship type, for instance, using an organizational view. The semantic cluster will guide the term selection by their semantic classification, for instance, using terms classified as actions. And finally, the terminology will allow selecting terms one by one. All those methods finally will form a list of terms that can be refined in a second step. Let's show it with a live sample. Take into account the following specification that contains some requirements. Feel free to stop the video and read them. Let's create a new terminology coverage metric by assigning a name. Notice that there are also some fields to filter the requirements that will be relevant for the metric using attributes or buttons, but that's not the scope of this video. Going to the specific configuration, we can see the three ways to select terms in the tabs. The term selector shows a plain list of terms where they can be selected one by one. The semantic cluster selector shows a hierarchical view of semantic clusters, ending in terms. Selecting a semantic cluster will add all the classified terms to the list. And finally, the system conceptual model shows, in first instance, a view selector and then a hierarchical view of terms guided by the relationship type selected before. When the selection is done, the terms in the list will be shown below, and even here they can be refined. When it's finished and saved, the metric will have some ranges to transform the quantitative value to a quality level, high, medium, or low, that can also be configured. After assessing the quality of the metric, the results can offer a more detailed view about the quality. The pie charts will show the percentage of incompleteness from the requirement specification view and from the metric view. It also shows a chart with the percentage of the requirements that match the metric by including at least one of the selected terms. Notice that in the results, the number of terms not found in the specification are 7 out of 11 terms selected. That results in a more than 63%. Terms coverage helps to find out the terms not found in the requirements, but also as options to see the terms found in the specification, no matter if they are selected or not in the metric. It also details in the Requirements tab which requirements contain terms according to the metric selection and which not. Filtering contains details about the requirements that match the filter set in the configuration to be analyzed. Not filter was set in our case. And finally, terminology shows the details about the terms selected in the metric. According to the default ranges, the quality value of 0.64 is higher to 0.5 that result in a low quality level.